Hello and welcome, beloved seekers of the sacred. I'm truly excited to guide you into the special and magical place or places today because you are coming with me into the Val Lumnezia, the Valley of the Light. And before we dive into the episode, I am inviting you to click the link in the show notes and check out the Legacy of Light Sacred Feminine Leadership Retreat for women desiring to create meaningful impact in the world, because this is exactly where we are going, the Valley of the Light. The exact place where this transformational experience will take place and hold you throughout 4 days and nights, traversing this potent landscape and connecting with your own solar feminine codings inside. So what to expect in this episode? Come on a virtual pilgrimage with me as we roam the fairy meadows together. We hike along paths that are off the beaten track with groundhogs. We bathe in dragon mountain pools and connect with the light codes that are available at the Anna Chapel and the Magdalene Grove, but they are actually available everywhere. I mean, it is seriously not called the Valley of the Light for nothing. So where are we anyways? We are in the Swiss mountains, in the Alps, in a village that has even less than 1,000 inhabitants. So it is literally the end of the world. It's a dead end in high mountain range because then you can only continue by foot and will probably get somewhere out in Italy. So imagine that already the drive up there is like super scenic and you're passing along this river stream and going higher and higher up the mountains. There is different waterfalls coming from the rocks, and just the way that the light comes in at every certain hour of the day, no matter what the season, the codes, the rainbows, the orbs that it's made, it's very special. And you drive up and it's like this serene, pristine energy. Everything is so clear, like the air is clear. You can smell the flowers, the trees, you can smell the earth. And then even the rocks have like this crystalline overlay, and you can feel, but you can also see how potent they are because there is a lot of quartz bands in the landscape. And so this is where we are. And then, as tiny as the village is, there is so many places that you would probably not even find or think of that they are there. And for me, it's a place that I have been connected very, very early onwards in my childhood, actually, because my father in the newspaper found an article about a skiing area that is super remote and family friendly. It's not very expensive. So back in the 80s, he found that place. So thanks to my parents, I basically learned skiing there. So it's a place that I'm very connected with. And back then, I do remember that I always had like this feeling of being home. And then I lost it for a little while, and only to rediscover and come back to that place in my 30s again. And ever since, I've been back several times a year. And to me, the most potent time of year, I mean, it is always, but the most potent time where I love to bring people is the summer solstice. So imagine you have the Valley of the Light. I mean, it is called the Valley of the Light. And as I was just saying, like the way that the light comes in, and you can stand in these rays or in these orbs, it's really like you are absorbing a different energetic level, as if you are connecting with your higher self and your own light body in a very visceral way. So let's just explore a few of the spots. It's really, really a high vibrational area. And for me, I often go there just to recharge myself whenever I know that I need some sunshine. I need some serious light body filling myself up with energy. That's where I go. That's my place. And I want to start on the foot of the mountain, actually, because a little bit further down, there is one of the biggest, if not the biggest stone circle of Switzerland. And it's a place that many people know about. It is super famous for skiing, but nobody really knows about, or let's say it's not paid so much attention to this megalithic site. But it is so powerful. And the stone circle, it's not like a stone circle that you would imagine kind of like Stonehenge or so. It's not like this enclosed, like you can already see it with your eye that it's a circle, but it's more like spread all around this mountain, this hill area. And it's called Parque La Muta in Falera. And there is, of course, also a church right in the middle. It's not in the center, but like it is in the enclosure of the stone circle. And you can walk around in a circular way to explore the different sites, the different markers of stones. And there is one particular passage where it literally is kind of like a yoni portal that you walk through. And so I really love to either start or complete my pilgrimages and sacred travel experiences at this exact spot, because it feels like a portal to, step either out from your normal life, your normal daily routines, your work, your family, like everything that is happening in life with you and for you and to you, and just like crossing that veil and crossing that threshold into a sacred transformational union with self, and then also to transition back out. And you will, all around this Parque La Muta, you will find huge stones that you can actually like lean on. And the beautiful thing with this circle is it's an open area, and sometimes there will even be cows that are just grazing between the stones. So it's not super well known. That's why it is also not very crowded, and you can just like roam around, and it's free to access for everybody. And that is very, very powerful, because for most of the sites, it's not even possible. And there was one particular spot I remember 3 years back when I was there with a group, and I was standing at this one particular place just like after that threshold portal crossing, and I was looking, so you have this panoramic view into the valley, and then there is like more mountain tops again. And I was standing there, and I felt this huge like rush and pull of energy that was going straight into my heart. And I looked up, and of course, like on the other side, like across the valley on the other side of the other mountain, there was another church. And so it literally felt like there was a ley line. And then I also knew, because we drove by, that there was another church. And of course, it's not about the churches, but it's about the structures that harness the energy that is coming up from the earth. And so I really like put the pieces of the puzzle together, that there is these powerful energy lines that are traversing through the valleys and like connecting the mountains. And the way that they are made visible is like through the churches. But just standing there and feeling this energy in your body, it's almost like there is a compass coming into your body and directing you where to go. So it's really cool. If you ever have a chance to go, or maybe also to explore that in a different setting, I highly, highly recommend that.
If we look around our world, it quickly becomes clear that beauty is everywhere. Beauty is nature. Beauty is elegance. Beauty is joy. Beauty is timeless. It is a beautiful harmony of our inner grace and external allure. Each level cosmetic product is carefully crafted through the union of nature and science, with a singular purpose: to safeguard and cherish your essence. Because beauty is you. Lovelights, quintessence of life.
And so this is a little bit further down the mountain, and then we drive up into the Val Lumnezia, and the town that I was speaking about is called Pfalz. And there is you have that gondola that goes on top, and then you will have this beautiful walk that you can do. And there's a lot of these alpine plants, alpine orchids as well, and some of the species are even about to extinct. So also be careful to not leave any traces, or not just bring stuff or take stuff with you, take plants with you. And you will find a Magdalene spot. There is 2 very powerful Magdalene spots up there, and one dragon spot. And you know what's funny, when I the more often I go, I also, of course, get to explore the places that are, it is already a remote area, but that are even more remote, or where there's literally no people. And of course, when you are a Magdalene, or when you are a Grail keeper, you might be attesting to that. These places always find you, and you will always find these places. And although you might not expect them, I mean, I am in a Swiss alpine mountain village, and I would have never, ever expected a Mary Magdalene frequency there. However, again, it was an experience years back that when I started my second priestess training, that I just felt this very strong pull to this little chapel. And again, it's such a power spot. Imagine you have these rock cliffs, and right on the rock cliff, there is this white, teeny tiny chapel. And you stand there and you overlook this entire valley. And at the back of the valley, there is this pristine turquoise water, glittering lake in the sunlight. And the lake itself, it is shaped like a cervix, and like a womb. And then in the midst of that womb, there is that horned mountain. So there is so much symbology. It's you just stand there in awe. And I could probably, I'm just there's something dropping in me that I just do a silent retreat there once, because it is just simply, the nature is so breathtaking and stunning that you don't even want to talk. It's very humbling. So anyways, back to this little chapel, and I found out that the chapel was dedicated to Anna. And back then, I did not even know who Anna was. Anna, the grandmother of Jesus, of Yeshua, and by the way, great book by, I believe, Claire Hartsong, Anna, grandmother of Jesus. So much wisdom, like channeled information, if you want to know more and dive deeper into what might be the true story or a true story about the Magdalene lineage and Christ consciousness. Highly recommend it. And the path towards this chapel, I mean, again, it's like you're walking on dragon eggs, and the entire mountain, and then you cross the rocks. It's like the earth comes alive. It's like you walk and you feel the earth is walking with you, or the earth is walking you and directing you where you need to be going, what you need to see, what you need to perceive. So really feeling just like being in the place, it puts you in an altered state of consciousness, and you will become aware of things that probably in your usual environment you wouldn't even see. And of course, like I've been there so many times, but every time I discover something new. And the one thing that I really, really love so much about this valley is that there is local crystals all around. So not only this particular mountain, but the entire reach and range is high in quartz and like other precious, semi-precious metals. And I have made contacts, very good contacts with a local mining family that, they just go for fun and mine these crystals in a very, I want to say, like, conscious way. It's not probably like highly spiritual, but what I found with these mountain people, they are so connected to the land and to the mineral kingdom in their very own way. It is truly, truly inspiring. So, and the cool thing, and I tell you, I have not experienced that anywhere else. I always say, like, this only happens in Switzerland. Like, you are on these hiking paths and you will have the showcases with the crystals, and basically you can just like open them and touch the crystals, look at the crystals, and again, imagine like they have been sitting in the sun the entire day, like for however long they're up there. And so you are taking these highly charged crystals that are coming out of this earth, that are infused with these light codes. It's just like an energetic explosion when you walk by. And you can just grab them, and then there is like a little code, so you will have to pay for that, but it's all like on trust base, and that's what I love so much about them as well. It's the people are so authentic, and you can feel like how there is like no harm at all. It's really like this pristine environment in a way, and trusted environment. And so I had walked past this showcase, but I saw a crystal which I hadn't taken. It was a smoky quartz, and let me actually see if I can get that. I want to show this to you. Okay, so for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, this was the one. It's a smoky quartz. And I didn't get it. I walked past, and I come across this chapel. I learn it's about Anna. And then it just, suddenly struck me. And I was like, no. Like, I need to go back. Like, I need to get this crystal. It's going to be my priestess crystal. And so, I went back and I got it. And that was just the beginning of many, many great relationships, not just with the mining family, but also with the mineral kingdom and beautiful crystals that come from up there. I'm going to show you another one. I mean, look at this. First of all, it's huge, and it's a clear quartz, and I always call it like my whale, because I feel that it looks like a whale. And this is local, like it comes out of that mountain. Isn't that crazy? And to me, the chapel of Anna together, like with the scenery and the codings, it very much represents the legacy and the lineage. And that's why also in this year's summer solstice retreat, which is called Legacy of Light, we are definitely going to be working with the codings that are anchored there, together with another Magdalene place, which is more like a Mother Mary Grove. There is a little very fairy-like grove with the mosses, and again, like the light comes in and makes all these rainbow rays, and there is water dripping from the mountain, making it lush and just a very secluded, like very serene spot where they placed a little Mother Mary shrine. And I mean, who would expect that? And if you don't know this place, you don't even walk there because it's not very well marked. And this is just another confirmation for me that when you look for these places, or when you are attuned to a certain vibration, also maybe even a certain lineage, you will always find these places, like no matter how remote they are. And I have, meanwhile, she's a very dear friend. Her name is Jenny, and actually I got to know her because she came on my very first retreat that I did there. And meanwhile, she has returned twice. And when the first time that she came, there was traumatic situation playing out in her friends and family constellation back home. And so she was with me on the retreat. And one thing that she always like tells people is that the way how she felt held, of course, like throughout the constellation, but especially felt held by the land and felt like this warm embrace, maybe of Mother Mary, maybe of just the elementals that were present. That is really one thing that stuck with her, and I love it so much when she talks about it, because it's really comforting how even when we cannot be present with someone who has experienced a tragic loss that also affects our lives, that we can still find beauty and can find comfort when we are connected, to the place. And then so there's actually an episode with her in the very early stages of the podcast, so you might want to go back and listen to that. And she's telling about the story, and then how she comes, like when she learned that this person in her family, friends, environment passed, how in that exact moment there was a butterfly that greeted her. And so just again, also coming back to, we're all connected, and there's always these little signs that are being given to us. So anyways, this is one of the places. The other one that I want to share with you that I only came across two years ago, is a dragon pool. And I was actually already like coming down from another kind of like small side valley again, that was like, I had the entire day to myself. The entire weekend I was all by myself. Spent some solo time on solo pilgrimage. And even to go up there to there's a little kiosk where there's goats. I had the entire day to myself. There was no one. And in the morning when I went up, I've never experienced that before. I mean, I know that there is so many colonies of groundhogs that you can come across, but they were literally like just crossing my path and like going back and forth and not even bothered by me walking around. And then they were communicating and doing their little shrieks, or I can't even imitate it, but it was just, my heart opened so much watching them. These little funny, creatures, how their energy system is so fine-tuned to, like, over kilometers, hearing, sensing everything that's going on. And it was at least, I'm not lying, it was at least 20 that I saw that day, which is like super, super rare. And it really felt like a blessing. And it's also, I've been connected to the animals since a child. So to me, it felt very, very pristine to be allowed to enter their realm. And so on the way back, I come down the mountain, I do like the little tracks, and I come across once again that stream. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a nice place to rest, maybe put my feet in the ice cold water and to have a little ceremony, like put some rose petals and also collect some fresh mountain water. And I sit and I look at this rock and I'm like, what the F? Like, there's this huge dragon skull that is like, or dragon head basically, that is looking at me. And then I follow it and I see that it's like an entire dragon and the pool is right in her embrace, like she encircles it. And yeah, that was the experience that I had there, like connecting me once again even deeper into the lineage and also the dragons as these primordial guardians of earth, of the elementals. And she's definitely a water dragon, and I've had many conversations with her. And it's these things that when you just walk by, or maybe you've walked by so many times and you didn't even see it, and the next time it's almost like the veil lifts and they're there and she's there, and I'm like, okay, wow, so now you're ready to be seen and now I am ready to see you, so thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's been, I love that spot so much. So last year when I took a group, we actually had to move it, so it wasn't on the summer solstice anymore. And in my mind, I thought, okay, great. So we're gonna have maybe it's fall, but it's still like very nice and sunny and warm. And so we're gonna go into this pool to just bathe and cleanse. And then it was the weekend of the first snow, and I was like, oh, darn, like, what am I gonna do? It's like, nobody's gonna go into the water. And I kid you not, like, at least 5 of the participants, they were so brave. They went for a cold plunge in that dragon pool, and it was the best experience they ever had, and so refreshing and cleansing. Yeah, so the reason why I say that is, first of all, that I mean these guardians, they always look for us to have the best experience that is possible and aligned in the way and in that exact moment right now. And also, you gotta surrender, like, especially when you are facilitating a retreat, a pilgrimage, a sacred travel. And no matter what the landscape is, but you can plan and you can have a program and everything. But then what actually happens on site, it's the land that is teaching you. It's the land that like wants to co-create with you. And maybe your mind is like, oh, we're going to do a ceremony there. We're going to be in meditation there. And that's what's happening. And then none of this is happening and something else is happening and like things are shifting. So yeah, just as a little side note, what I learned on my experience with these travel experience, that it is really, really energetically tuning in with the guardians and the stewards of that particular piece where you are leading people, and it's listening and receiving for yourself, and then allowing yourself and allowing the group to be guided. So yay, wow. And another thing that I want to weave in, there was another woman, for the sake of privacy, I'm not going to mention the name, but another woman that came with me on the retreat last year, and she was like, Julia, I have lived in Switzerland for like many, many years now. I'm going to say 5 or 7 years. And I never felt connected to the mountains. I was always that beach girl coming from, a beach area in California. I was never a mountain girl. And you leading me on that trip and like being in this environment, it changed my view. It changed my connection to the mountains completely. And that was such a great testament to hear and to have, because this is what literally this landscape does. Like, it changes your being inside out, and it plugs you into this connection with the minerals, with the water, with the wind, with like all the elementals, with the rocks. And another thing that I would want to mention is some of you might actually know the town, although it is tiny, but what it's known for is its architecture, or its architect. It has a very, very famous architect, and there is students and people who are interested in architecture coming from all around the world just to see some of the buildings that his name is Peter Zumthor, that he built. And one of the buildings that is also dedicated, or not dedicated, that was created by him, is the thermal spa. Because the place, of course, how could it be any different? There is these thermal springs that are very rich in iron and very rich in certain minerals that also have a lot of healing properties on your physical, but also emotional state. And when I was a child, and when I used to go with my parents, it was basically a hole in the rock, and you would just like drink. You would just pass by and like drink the water. And of course, there was a pool where you could go into, but it wasn't this huge thing. And I think a decade ago, or maybe more, there was this rock spa that was built. And last year on the retreat, we went with a couple of women. And I just want to tell you, like, this is not a spa. This is a sound temple. This is a water and a sound temple. So if you, ever get the chance to go there, I highly recommend experiencing it. Or if you feel super intrigued now, I'm inviting you to click the link in the show notes and check out the dates, check out the details, and come with us. It is truly, truly such a transformational experience to just be up there. Plus then all the activities, all the transformational energy work and ceremonies that we're going to be doing. So the spa is built with, of course, the local rocks, and the rocks and the water and the light. So the pairing of these three, it gives you an incredible, incredible experience. The architecture of the place is very unique, and it is built in a way that, again, like the water, the carrier of the information, the sun is coming in, putting in the codes, and the stones are set in motion. And so there is this vibration, there is this frequency, and there is this toning. There is the one other particular thing about the spa is that you have different pools One is a super hot one is a super cold one. There's one that is like a well. So you enter and you literally feel like you are on the bottom of a well and you start toning. So we went there with the group of women, and of course, synchronistically, coincidentally, it happened that we had this spot for ourselves and we held hands and we were in a circle and we started toning and we started humming. And that was such an otherworldly experience, the way that the stones started vibrating and how it was almost like feeling that, like feeling like a monad and feeling to become one with source, and how these filaments of light, how this grid work of light that is connecting everything and anything in the reality, in the matrix, how you can form that, feeling it and then internalizing it, and how you can form it and form your reality through the frequency that you send out. Such an amazing experience. And I tell everybody about this, at least here in Switzerland where I live. And I said, just go there, like take your husband, take your kids, take your family. And even if you just want to have a spa day, like you will receive the codes. And of course, there is a lot more about the Valley of the Light that I could tell you. But yeah, I just want to invite you to experience that for yourself. So if you feel intrigued and you identify as a woman that is really, really ready to unleash her full spiritual power, to also make that an impactful and meaningful earth walk, then please join us. We are journeying over the summer solstice, so meaning the 18th to the 22nd of June, with the theme of conscious and sacred feminine leadership. So I am so looking forward to, receiving a note from you. Check the link in the show notes. And for everybody else, thank you so much for listening and tuning into this episode. I hope that the light codes of the Valley of the Light are, finding their way into your heart. And as always, stay curious and continue to escape the ordinary. Until next time.